Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back with another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, Halloween month edition, and this is episode 102. And this episode, we're talking about essential horror villains in no particular order. We're just going to discuss certain ones. We all have a list. We got 10, and we'll probably go over a few more. Maybe go up to like 13 or something.
Yeah, we'll let it roll. We have, of course, it's Halloween, so we got to have Ahmed on. So Ahmed Smith is with us tonight. It's a Kiss aficionado, as I like to call him.
Horror aficionado.
Right. Horror aficionado. Yeah, because the other three we sometimes don't get the facts right. So Ahmed's going to hopefully get some shit.
Yeah. So before people gang up on us, it's not like monsters. It's not like werewolf and Dracula. It's like slasher. Villains.
Yeah. Yep. So all right. You know what? I'm going to start it off. I'm going to go with Ghostface. Billy Loomis. Now, you figure Billy was the main killer, but then he got his buddy Stu involved, and then it was both of them, which was a cool twist in the movie of, Scream. And but the real guy, I think it's in the third and fourth one, is that Roman Bridge guy is really the guy that shows Billy the footage of his mother screwing around with. Well, was it that? No, it was what's the name's? Was it what's the name's mother? Who was it? It was
Sydney's mother.
Sydney's mother, yeah. Screwing around with his father. But I don't know. What do you guys think about Ghostface, Damo?
I think he's a good one. I mean, that was kind of like when that Scream movie came out. It was sort of like the slasher horror movies were kind of like dead for a while, like through most of the 90s. It seemed like 80s was like the pinnacle of it, and then through the 90s, it just kind of like died. And then Scream came out and was sort of like the rebirth of that kind of genre of horror. But I love that movie, man. It was a cool idea. It was, I think, Ghostface character was great. I love the whole concept of it.
Pretty plain and simple too. Like the mask was really, it was pretty simple.
Generic. Yeah.
And the talking thing is what really made it. I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The talking thing. How about you, Ahmed? What do you think of Ghostface?
Yeah, I actually have him as number 5 on my list. I remember when that came out, I saw that in the theater. A friend of mine was just like, yo, this will remind you of something that you and I would do, because we used to mess with, some of my friends with the Michael Myers mask on. And when he said, go check it out in the theater, I didn't even see any of that coming. Like, I was legit freaked out by that mask. And there have been so many masks since the Michael Myers mask where I've been kind of like, that one doesn't freak me out. But that face, that ghost face, it's pretty freaky. And just the whole, if you're going to talk, only talk when you need to. Like, don't talk like as like kind of like Freddy does. And I like Freddy, but it's different. It was just when it was on, like with the action, with the killing. It was, he didn't talk through it. So I thought that was cool.
And the twist with the two killers was a good twist.
That was great.
Yeah. You know what I really liked a lot? I liked when they put out, I think it was the second movie, where they made a movie about the movie kind of deal, where it was called Stab. I thought that was great. I thought that was really
good. I actually fell off after that one, but that was a cool idea.
Yeah, that was a cool idea.
That's kind of like now, like what's going on. If that was to happen, like with Halloween or something like that, because it's not too far off from Halloween. And I also like that they referenced that a lot in that movie.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. It's one of those teenage. I like that. All them teenage films are always good, even if it's comedy or if it's a horror. They're always pretty good. Yeah, it felt like an 80s or 70s or 80s horror movie, but in the 90s. Yeah, like to me that was the 90s horror version of what American Pie would be to like Porky's in the 80s. You know what I mean? It would kind of had that feel to it. Mike D, what you got?
What do I got? What do I got for Scream, or what do I have for
Scream? Ghostface,
I mean, as far as like modern day slashers, I mean, it's the most memorable. I mean, I couldn't think of anybody else in the modern day that really would be a household name. I don't know.
Right.
But no, I kind of fell off after the third one, and it wasn't like I didn't like him. It's just, I don't know, you just get bored of watching the same thing all the time. But I mean, it just definitely took a lot of twists and turns on who was really the killer and how many killers there were.
It got out of control after a while.
It did get out of control. Yeah.
Yeah. But the last one they put out, I thought was pretty decent. The one, was it 2022? Was it? I don't know, something like that. But wasn't that
last year?
Last year, yeah.
So how many are they up to?
I think that was 6.
Wow. Wow.
Or 5 or 6.
Is that it? I
might have
felt like
been
there was more for some reason.
It might have been 6, but they didn't bother. They didn't the part in it like 6 or whatever.
For some odd reason, I'm melding scary movie into it.
Yeah, help it now.
Which out of all the scary movies, 2 is the best. I thought.
I think that was the better.
That was the best one. The one with the guy who was on Letterman before.
I got my little hand.
That guy. What's his name? Chris something. Chris
Elliott.
Chris Elliott. Yeah, that was the best.
I always saw the first one.
Oh, the second one.
That's what I think about most with that one. My strong hand.
Yeah. I'll give you a standing ovation. He's in the wheelchair. It's fucked up. And also, Ghostface is one of the killers in one of Damien's favorite games. You know, plug here, send us some free stuff. Dead by Daylight. Damien plays every night for the last 3 years.
Every night, yep.
Do you really?
3 years. Every day, yeah.
Is that how you go to sleep at night?
Yeah. No, I actually don't. It is cool playing it at night. Sometimes I'll do it, but usually I play like as soon as I get home from work for like an hour or two. I'll get in.
Got to hack some people apart, just unwind from the day.
Yeah.
All right, Damo. So we're gonna move on to you. Who's in your list?
Mike mentioned he couldn't think of any modern ones, and the one I have is probably my favorite right now, and he's already like he's this guy's making like his mark, and that's Art the Clown from Terrifier.
Yeah, he's the next big one.
Dude, he's I haven't seen the new movie yet, and horror movies usually get shitty reviews, but this one is, everything I'm reading is really good. It's like 2.5 hours long, but people are saying it doesn't even feel like it's that long. But I got to go see it, hopefully this weekend, or I think into next week, if I could find the time to see it somewhere. But yeah, man, he's a clown, so automatically people say, oh, well, there was Pennywise already, but this guy doesn't talk. He's like a mime.
Well, is he supernatural? Because
it gets confusing. Man, I don't think.
Now he is. Yeah.
Now he is. Okay.
Now they don't get supernatural. Don't they?
Yeah. Well, they reveal that in the second one. From what I hear, that he's supernatural. But then there's like a whole backstory I heard. But he's just really creepy, and he doesn't talk. And you just look at it from the facial expressions he makes, and the kill scenes are like brutal, like really gory but clever. And I mean, he's like right up there, I think, with like already I think he's up there with like Freddy and Michael Myers and those guys. Like you're going to see a lot more movies with him, and I think this movie is really going to solidify his spot.
How about you, Ahmed? Have you ever seen either All Hallows Eve or Terrifier movies?
I saw the first Terrifier.
What you think?
See All Hallows Eve, or the new one that he's talking about, but I want to check it out. But yeah, everything he's saying, I agree with. He's definitely one of the clowns that I've heard people talk about over the last, couple years since that one started. It was like an underground thing for a minute, where everybody was talking about the first one and now this one, and he's right. It's creepy. I was one of those people who had like a fear of clowns in the beginning. I don't anymore. They become like cool, but there's still those times where you'll catch like a certain mask or something, and it'll still like, that's creepy. That was the scariest things about clowns, is they're creepy, and that clown was one of the creepiest out of I thought the Twisty also from
American Horror Story.
Yeah,
That was a good one. Yeah.
yeah. Him and that one were two best most for the clowns anyway.
Yep. Mike D, have you seen anything on Terrifier? Or is this all kind of new to you?
No, this is all new to me. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. I watched them all. I actually watched within the last week. I watched them all. I didn't see the new one, so I didn't see the new one yet. But All Hallows Eve, the first All Hallows Eve, he's kind of thrown into that for like a second. It's weird. And then Terrifier, it's just brutal. It's weird. I mean, it looks like it's kind of like a simple face. There's nothing, you know what I mean? It could be anybody. That's the scary part. The killings are
And he's a
crazy.
mute. He doesn't talk.
He don't say nothing, so you don't know what he's doing. He's pretty relentless, you know.
That
Yeah,
horn.
it's good. Yeah, it's crazy. So I thought it was probably the best kind of character like that's come along probably since Ghostface, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the next one, but it was pretty crazy. I think this guy's going to have a shitload of movies coming out. They're going to try and capitalize on it as much as possible.
Especially now if he's supernatural.
Yeah,
Right.
which is weird, you know. On a spoiler here for anyone that didn't see it, but the first Terrifier, I was confused when he offs the one girl, the lady looks like the homeless lady with the cat or with the baby doll. It looks like he's got boobs in one scene.
Oh yeah.
So I was confused there.
I think
for a
I think that was
They're
like
trending right now, boobs.
That's what it must be.
I think that was like almost like a Silence of the Lambs thing. I think that was like her flesh or something that he put on.
Yeah, I was starting to think, was he a transvestite? Was he just wearing the? It was weird. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember. Wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
They're gonna pull a sleepaway camp.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you said Terrifier 2. From what you hear, they go to a backstory of it, which would be, I always like a backstory and origin. So.
Yeah. The reviews I've been reading are really, really good. Surprisingly for that type of movie.
Yep. Cool. We're gonna go to Ahmed. What you got?
Let me look at my list. Let me pull it up real quick. The Strangers.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool.
When was this from? I don't remember.
There was 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, I know.
No, I don't either.
You don't know Strangers? It had Liv Tyler in it. It came out a while ago.
I'll have to look that one up.
It's these 3 different people who it's about a couple who goes to this house, and these people just like randomly show up.
Oh, okay.
Start messing with them all through the night. And
Dude,
one of the previous lines in the movie was just like, cause she starts losing her mind because they're banging. She's by herself because her and her boyfriend were going through something, and he left. I forget exactly why he decided to leave, but he left the house and she was there by herself. And all of a sudden she starts to hear all these noises and people knocking on the door. And she's just like, why are you bothering me? And she's just like, because you were home.
Right. Yeah.
It's like they mess with her all night. And
yeah,
it's creepy. Like there's one guy that's got like this bag over his head. It seemed like the simplest ones are the most scary.
Yeah, because anybody can do it. Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of them. They are,
and the other ones are just kind of just like, well, those off kids,
just like those cheap Halloween masks.
Yeah.
Those plain.
So it's disturbing in that way, but you got to check it out. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I don't think it was bad. I thought it was pretty good, but I wanted more because you never really find out why, or
that's why I like it. It kind of
hanging.
Yeah. I don't like that when it comes to. I like more suspense rather than showing me like a lot of stuff.
I'm with you too, man. I think they show too much and stuff now.
Yeah,
the gore factor's too much,
and explain too much too.
Yeah,
like sometimes I think it's just better to just be left in the dark with some of it.
Well, it makes it a little more mysterious, I guess,
Yeah. You kind of fill in your own backstory on what you think sometimes.
Yeah. I like a backstory, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you could probably imagine something way worse than what
it is.
So
yeah. But I watched 1 and 2. They were both pretty good. But I would like to see like, who are they? But like I said, but the flip side is the mysterious part of that. Mike D, what you got?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know I thought we were just doing horror villains, but okay. I'll go with the original slasher. I got to go with Norman Bates.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to give you all the backstory of the sequels and everything like that, but the original from the first movie, man, he was just creepy in that.
Yeah.
With the whole like taxidermy thing and just the stares that this guy was given. Anthony Perkins was just awesome in that.
Well, he had that split personality. He thought he
was dressing up as his mother. And,
yeah.
Seeing that right there is off.
Right.
It's that off stuff. It's just like, well, what's up with him?
Wait, there's something wrong with dressing up as your mother?
Yeah.
In the context of that, yeah.
I mean, they always say, "Oh, Halloween was the first like real kind of slasher movie," but it probably was Psycho. If you go back, it's got to be Psycho, right? So
if you ask John
absolutely.
Carpenter, that's what he'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? There was older ones. Like, wasn't like I don't remember watching it, but like, wasn't M like a slasher film?
I don't know.
What was it called?
M.
I think it was just called M. This
I
might be. Oh, it's like an old foreign film.
I'd have to look into that, but usually Psycho is credited as the first.
Yeah, I would think.
Janet Leigh was in that. Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. Mm-hmm. So, and that shower scene and that.
Well, there was nothing else like that before that. They didn't really show.
So
like, that was almost like partial nudity.
It was their Nirvana of horror.
All right, guys. So I'm going to pick Leatherface. The story of Leatherface pretty much is, I mean, yeah, he's a fucked up character, but you can tell he's mentally fucked up. And really, his family were really the ones that were really the nuts. I mean, he's nuts, but the family definitely made him do what he did. He probably didn't know no better. I even like, I mean, the original one is the best, loosely based on Ed Gein. And, the ones after that they put out, the ones in I want to say the 90s, where they gave a backstory. I kind of thought they were pretty good too. Yeah. I thought they had the creep factor in it, but Leatherface was pretty damn brutal, and he's definitely high on the list. And that movie, man, just the sounds of when they're taking the pictures and the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's like that just annoying sound. It's just fucking creepy, and everybody did think it was a true story, even though it really wasn't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, everybody.
Well, it was based off. It was kind of like an amalgamation of a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, Ed Gein, and then a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, definitely. So, Damo, what you got on Leatherface?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the first one, the original one is great, and then some of the remake. Is there like 2 remakes or something? I don't know.
There's like 3 parts, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, there's ones that came out like within the past like 15 years or something.
And there's one actually came out last year.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Okay.
I watched it. It was okay.
Okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I always like them, and they always creep me out.
Yeah, the first one's definitely, of course, the best.
Yeah.
Ahmed, anything on Leatherface?
Yeah, this actually may be the one horror movie where I actually don't mind all the sequels and remakes. This whole thing is just messed up and creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that. Like, imagine that whole situation. That would just suck.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I liked all those ones. I thought the last one that came out, I think it was last year, whatever, was pretty good. A lot of people were going back and forth about it, but
I like the setup of it. The setup of it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason,
back. They brought the original woman back.
Yeah.
For some reason with that one, I mean, I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that, but it wasn't one of my favorite ones. But it was one of those ones where I could keep coming back to the sequels and see the difference in all of them and appreciate them for what they were.
Yeah.
Where, more diehard fans like I am with like Halloween and stuff like that kind of prefer the first one. Yeah. And the first one is the best. If I had to, pick one, I would say the first one's the best one.
Well, there was even like, as far as like, even like, because all these horror movies are doing now, but even like you had your first one, and then you had part 2, which was kind of like a dark comedy. and then you had 3 to whatever the hell was like the franchise, and then it stopped, and then you had a 2 or 3. We had a remake of the original. Then you had 2 other ones that followed that had an origin story, and then I believe you had 2 after that. They were just like redone. One was 3D and whatever. I don't think I ever seen that one. And then there's one that I seen on Netflix last year. And so, but the one in the middle, the one in the 90s where they had like, I think it was like
2003. That was that was like the reboot.
The reboot, the 2 or 3 reboot, the little trilogy there or double thing was great. I thought that was done well.
Yeah, then there was one called Leatherface that came out in 2017, and then there was the one that came out it actually came out earlier this year.
Yeah, what was the title? That was your title for that, or just
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? That's what it was called. Yeah.
Wow, Mike D, anything on Leatherface?
I mean, definitely one of the iconic ones. I think I might have only seen that movie a couple of times. That I don't even remember much about it, but I remember as a kid, it definitely freaked me out.
Yeah, absolutely. Damo, what you got?
Let me see. What do we got here?
Spin the wheel.
I'm gonna go with another one of my favorites, Freddy Krueger. He scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. The first movie I saw was part 2. I think I saw that like right after it came out, and it scared the shit out of me. And then, but I was like so fascinated with him. And then I saw the first one, and then I saw Dream Warriors at the movie theater. And I saw every single one. And after 3, they're kind of like shitty. But what I did like is that whoever survived that movie, you saw like they're in like the next movie, but they're pretty much killed off within
quickly,
within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's always some sort of continuation. And actually, I kind of like the look. I didn't mind the remake of it because I always like the backstories, so that automatically kind of sells me on it. And I thought the makeup of that guy looked like an actual burn.
That might be the only thing I like about that remake was that the makeup was great.
Yeah, but yeah, he's great. I mean, he had some great lines. I mean, some of the shit he said was funny. But I mean, I'd be cool if they made another one with Robert Englund, which I think they were talking about it, but I don't know.
I'm at anything on Freddie?
Yep, I actually had him in my list, and I'm with him on just about everything he said. And I remember Freddie from like day one. I remember the first Nightmare on Elm Street, like when that first came out. That was like ahead of its time. It was like, yo, I'm not going to sleep, man. I'm staying up and keeping the light on and all that.
Yeah, I know.
But the first one actually didn't really scare me. I just thought the whole concept was cool. But is when I seen the second one, when I got really freaked out, because around that time, it seemed like a lot of those 80s movies were playing a lot with possession and stuff like that. And just him being trapped in his body freaked me out. And then the scene where he just busted through his stomach, I was, yo, man, I was so scared I couldn't even get off the couch. I'm like 10 years old. Like, forget that. And then Dream Warriors I thought was cool, the third one. But I definitely, after that, fell off. I liked the fourth one. The fifth one I didn't like at all. Freddy's Dead was cool. New Nightmare was cool because it was different. They found a way to like make it a reality movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one.
And Freddy versus Jason, for what it was, I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was great. Yeah,
kind of like a modern day Wolfman versus
Frankenstein or Dracula.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah.
And same thing with you guys with the remake. I thought it was cool. I mean, it was all right. It was a different take on it or whatever, and the makeup looked real. That was probably the coolest thing about it. But that guy didn't stand a chance because of how large Robert Englund was. It wasn't even fair. Like when I found out that he was doing it, I'm like, man, this poor dude. He's not.
Wait, is Robert Englund that big?
Yeah.
Like he
really. I always
that character
smaller guy.
I'm going to say, as far as horror icons and villains go, he's number one.
Yeah, I don't think he meant big as in big, big as in stature as far as the
I'm thinking, because I never pictured Robert Englund being that big of a guy.
No,
he's
he's
a
actually
character.
he's actually kind of like a I'd say 5'10", 5.
Like, yeah, average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike D, what do you got on Freddy?
I mean, definitely one of your more iconic horror villains. I mean, I don't know. The first one was scary, just the concept of it. After that, it kind of moved on to the comedy act. So, but it was just great to see, the innovative ways that he would kill these kids.
Yep.
I even have I have the talking Freddy at home. And I have one which is really cool. It's the Max FX Freddie. And basically, what it is, they give you a Ken doll. And they give you the pieces of Freddy to put over the doll. And there was a bunch of them supposed to come out in the series. That's the only one I saw. I think they have like a Dracula. And maybe I think they have an alien that they put out.
That's great.
But it's pretty cool when you put it together. I mean, it really looks like Freddy. But that's like the only one like a posable one that I've seen.
Right. For me, Freddy, the first movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, the concept of it was so good because what if you could dream it and your dreams kind of become reality? So that was great. I don't remember anything being like that. That was a pretty twisted idea. Even when he did get sillier in the later movies, the kills were still brutal. They were pretty. I mean, probably. I think the greatest scene is probably the puppet scene.
Yeah,
Like he's on a marionette thing. That was that's the craziest.
That's why 3 makes it to 3 for me because of
it's the best.
And I thought it was cool that they could actually, since they were it's about dreaming, they could let their imaginations go further with that whole thing. But just when it turned to comedy, it kind of lost me. Like I wasn't. He was more concerned about being funny than he was like straight up killing like he was in the first two.
And he's really a fucked up dark character. I mean, he's a child killer. He's really a dark character. Yeah.
I like the scene in 3 where he comes out of the TV and he said, welcome to prime time, bitch. And he puts your head through the TV.
If I ever meet him, I'm getting him to sign my box set with that.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
That's funny. Ahmed, what do you got on your list?
Should I? No, I'll save this one. I won't say it just yet because it's too easy. Jack Torrance, The Shining. Yeah,
I gotta watch that again.
That was good.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Imagine if your dad was to turn on you like that. And Jack Nicholson, like for the longest time, I couldn't look at him in any other movies and not be freaked out. Because he was just so scary looking to me.
Well, he's got that sinister look anyway, no matter what.
And just, again, when I saw this movie, like all of these movies pretty much, but this is probably the matter of fact, it is the second horror movie I've ever seen. And it wasn't too far off from, Halloween or whatever. And that, freaked me out. It just kind of, it wasn't too fairy tale, it was a little bit more, reality. The whole scene when he's busting in the bathroom.
It's like iconic,
out, man.
Yeah.
Like Jack Nicholson, like scary. That's all I got.
There was a lot of the odd things even going on in that set, I think.
Yeah.
Like wasn't like a lot of there was a couple crew members dying or something.
I
could be wrong. I'm
deep stuff that would happen within making a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that I'm not so sure with.
Yeah, I'm almost sure there was some weird stuff going on.
Possibly. With that, I'm not so sure with. But yeah.
That was definitely with the hallway and the pattern rug with the ball just going down.
Yeah.
Like, I swore I've been in some hotels that have that floor pattern.
And the twins.
Yeah.
Iconic.
It's iconic.
And then the blood with the door.
Yeah. I bet the red room. You know what I mean? I mean, there's definitely some stuff. Mike D, anything else on this one?
I thought what's the name was creepy. Was it Scatman Carruthers? I think he was in it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, dude, just him it creeps me out.
Jack Nicholson?
No,
what's his name?
Scatman Crows.
Scatman
No,
Carruthers.
I thought Shelley Duvall was pretty
She was
crazy
good.
looking too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's literally crazy now. Nah, seriously, I think she's got
Really?
like serious mental issues now. Yeah.
Wow.
Shame.
Yeah. The Shining was pretty cool, I thought. I mean, long. It felt like a long movie, if I can remember. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, until it gets to where things start to twist up, it does seem like it kind of like drags. So like the whole second half is the best part of the
But
movie.
that's what was kind of good about those like 70 movies. They kind of like they let things breathe and build up, and it wasn't like it hits you in the face from the get-go. It's like now everything, it's like like the first scene of the movie, somebody's getting their head cut off.
Right.
Well, now they have to be over the top to just outdo everything.
Right.
And it was a little bit more patient than you could,
A build up.
slowly like, and all that stuff's happening for the first time. So when you're seeing it, you're really like shook for like a couple days. Now they have to like shock you all at once.
Yeah. And that story pretty much is that the hotel or whatever really turns him, right? Pretty much almost coming like an Amityville horror kind of.
Yeah.
Like the solitude of it, just we'll just being in
And
a
you're
place that
trapped.
big with only you're trapped in snowstorm. There's only 3 people in there. That's enough to just drive you nuts. But did you guys see the sequel to that? It was actually really good.
Yeah. The Doctor, what was it? Is it Doctor Sleep?
Doctor
Or Sleep?
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it, but
Dr.
that was
Sleep,
the
yeah.
sequel to
Good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago, 3 years
How
ago. maybe,
how
or
did that
something.
story go? Was that like after the fact kind of deal?
Because it's the kid grown up.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
have to
goes
check that out.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I
And
definitely
then
gotta check
they
that
do
out.
some cool shit with what do they call that? Like de-aging and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
It's I thought they did a pretty cool job with that. Pretty
Nice.
good. It's creepy.
Nice. Mike D, what you got on your list?
Well, I'm sure he's probably watched this one, but not your typical slasher. But I'm going with the Zuni fetish doll, man.
Oh, I almost
Out of the
put that
trilogy
on
of
my
terror. Because man, that thing just scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
list. Yeah.
I don't think I know what it is.
Oh, dude, you got to look it up, man. The Zuni fetish doll. And it was trilogy of terror. It was 3 short stories with Karen Black starring and all.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't even remember the other 2. But this one was just so memorable because I think she buys this like little like Indian fetish doll for her her husband or her boyfriend or something like that for his birthday. And the thing was, you couldn't remove the chain that it had around its neck. And of course, the course of the little episode, the chain comes off and she's around her little apartment being chased around by this little fetish doll.
Yeah, like a little mini like witch doctor or something.
Yeah, he's got this knife and he's like with this noise.
Dude, that I've seen that so many times, and I don't even think I always fast forward just to that one episode.
Right.
And
Same here.
What's crazy? They never did anything after that. It was just that one little, what is it, like maybe half hour kind of short story. And there was like, as far as I know, there was no sequel. There's no movie series.
I mean, it could have been.
Creepy.
I mean, she became possessed at the end by it. So, but
they could have told the story or something.
I remember like years after that going to the Deptford Mall. I forget what store it was. It was like one of those like weird stores. They didn't say it was from that, but they were selling those Zuni fetish dolls, and they were like, I don't know, about 3 foot tall.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty
cool. No way, I would never get one of them things.
Creepy as shit.
No way.
Yeah, I got to check the movie. Ahmed, have you ever seen that?
No, I'm sitting here trying to think.
Oh man,
I just popped it up. It looks crazy.
Yeah,
I have magic popping in my head.
Ah, yeah, that's scary.
Oh yeah, that was going too.
I was scared of that.
The dummy?
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, with the dummy. Yeah,
I haven't seen that in years.
That used to freak me out. That one though.
Yeah,
that definitely freaked me out. Wow. Okay, so I guess it's on to me now for the next one. Let's go with Candyman. I kind of like Candyman. Yeah, Candyman's a good one. So you say Candyman 5 times, he appears, whatever the deal
Done
is.
it?
It came from a short story called The Forbidden from Clive Barker. So that's where it all started from. And it's pretty much about this black dude that I guess his family comes from money, and he winds up getting, having like an interracial relationship. And then I guess the people that he lives around there, whatever, they fucking kill him pretty much, and they put honey on him, and they cut off his fucking arm. But I think it's a great, great story. Yeah, I even like the reboot. I thought the reboot was good.
I haven't seen that yet, but I heard it is good.
And I think he's kind of like a sympathetic character because he got killed for no fucking reason. So it's like, it kind of like he gets his revenge, but I don't get how he comes, why he comes back. You know what I mean? How about you? Anybody, Damo? Anything on?
I liked it, man. I remember seeing that right when it came out too, and I was really into Candyman. I don't think I saw any. I think there was like a couple sequels. I didn't see them though, but
there was a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see the remake because I thought the story was really good.
The remake was good. I thought the remake was good.
Yeah.
Ahmed, anything on Candyman?
Yeah, I like Candyman. Candyman was cool. I thought that was an interesting idea. I've never tried it in the mirror though, because fuck all that.
Yeah, and Tony Todd's good. He's good.
Yeah, and the second one I saw in the theater, I like the first one the best, but the second one was good, and the remake from last year I thought was good. I saw a lot of people who didn't like it, but
I thought it was good with the whole art gallery thing, and I thought it was good.
So did I. I thought it was real cool. I mean, it all like the scenes were intense. I thought, and still pretty creepy and all that. So they got me, like the jump scares and stuff. They got me. So
and that probably came out in the 90s, I would think. That was probably one of the better horror movies in the 90s.
You're talking about the second one, not the remake.
No, the first one, the original.
Oh yeah, the original.
I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a really good storyline. It had a good twist to it. It kind of like a love story, sort of. But it had a good twist to it. And then he came back, and the sweets for the sweet. It was a real good story. Really good story. Mike, did anything on Candyman?
I don't think I've ever watched that all the way through. I might have changed the channel and it was on, but I'm gonna have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's worth it. The remake, all three of us all said that the remake was really good.
I'll watch the original first.
Yeah. The original's the best. I think the original's best, but the remake is really, really good. Damo, what you got on your list?
I'm gonna go with kind of like a underrated one, and that's Blade from Puppet Master.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember the Puppet Master movies,
I remember the series.
Remember
them, a ton of them.
Yeah. I think I liked it because it did kind of remind me of the Zuni doll a little bit, because they're like these little fucking dolls that just run and freaking kill people.
Well, Blade was like the prick of the bunch, right? If I can remember. Yeah. He was like the Stripe of the Gremlins kind of deal.
Right. Yeah. He had blade, knives for hands, and then there was the strong man with the little head, the little peanut head.
Yeah.
he had the muscles and shit. And then there was a few of them, but every movie I think they would introduce someone else, I think. But
there was a lot of characters.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything in particular. I remember them all being pretty damn good, but I don't really remember. I haven't seen them so long that I really don't remember too much about them. How about you, Ahmed? Anything on the Puppet Master series?
No, not really. That's one that I would have to look at again.
Yeah. How about you, Mike? You remember them?
I've seen bits and pieces of them. I remember anything with dolls coming to life is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But if I remember, from weren't some of them good too?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that was the whole. Yeah, I think it was more of a revenge thing.
I didn't I could. There was a bunch of those movies though. There was. I remember. Wasn't there a wedding scene in one of them where the two dolls got married or something? Or am I thinking of the Bride of Chucky?
That sounds like Chucky. I was about to say.
It might be Chucky.
But I don't know. Man. It could have been that one too. But I remember two puppets getting married or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ahmed, what you got on your list?
I'm gonna go with a very short-lived character, Jamie Lloyd from Halloween Part 4. I always thought that they should have taken that further with part 5, because next to the original Halloween ending, I thought the part 4 ending was definitely the creepiest.
It was you didn't expect it, you know.
And if they would have had that happen, and instead of rushing 5 into production the next year, like waited 10 more years or something like that, and brought her back older, and had the cycle repeating, but basically with her, like I would have let him die, or basically let him be a vegetable at Smith's Grove or something, and she keeps going back to him for some type of connection or
like
whatever.
the bloodline kind of deal. Like it's
yeah.
I actually like that plot,
but I thought that was really cool, because that up until that point, that nothing like that has ever happened. So
yeah,
I thought that they should have went further with that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I thought she was great. She's great in everything she does now too. What is it, Danielle
Harris?
Danielle Harris. Yeah. What was it, 4? So 4, the ending of 4 was a surprise, and same thing with the outfit, the mask,
Same thing.
The way you would see that, I guess it's the POV, the point of view thing, where it's like the character's actually staring. It's not like you watching the character. The character's the main part of the focus. What he or she sees. Yeah, that I didn't think about putting that on the list, but that's a good one, because they could have really elaborated a lot more on that character, and it was such a twist, and even in 5, where 5 is when she didn't talk, right,
for half of it, and then she came back, and then he came back into it, and and then they started to introduce the other guy, and it became too much. It was like they were grasping at straws, it seemed like.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden in 6, she was pregnant with Michael's baby or whatever the deal was.
Yeah, and then that character looked too old to be what her age was calling for in the movie, so it was weird. And it wasn't Danielle Harris, it was somebody else, so it was weird again.
Right. And that's a whole story within itself, that part 6. That's its whole deal. And the director's cut's even another deal, I guess, with that.
Yep, the whole Thorn trilogy is weird.
Yeah. Yep. Damo, anything on that character?
Nah, I don't really know those movies too well.
Okay. Mike D, anything on Jamie?
Yeah, same here. I mean, you lost me with that one a little bit. That little plot.
All right. Well, we're going to go to you. What do you got on your list next?
Me?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess since we're doing a little of the supernatural, man, I'm going with Reverend Henry Kane from Poltergeist.
Okay.
And and he was kind of introduced in the second one, as far as I forget the actor's name who played him. He was the preacher.
Okay.
But they worked it in, which I kind of recently just found out he was the beast in the first one, and in the second one he took a human form. So I never really quite grasped that until now. Mm-hmm.
So I guess,
but
you've never seen the second one?
Oh man, I think the second one was kind of scarier.
Yeah, I got to go back and rewatch that.
What was it? If you look at
the Among the Living guy.
What's that? The Amongst the Living, yeah.
Among the Living, Anthrax cover.
Right.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's what he kind of reminds you of. Yeah. But he kind of was like walking towards the house, and he had this like creepy little song he was singing. I mean, the actor did such a great job at that. And I think they had plans for him to do the third one. He was kind of old to begin with, and he didn't make kind of passed away before it. So, but what a great job that character, man. You got to watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yep. Well, you know what? Since Mike kind of opened up more of the supernatural thing, we might as well just have a free for all here and just make it horror villains. So, anybody you guys want to bring up, and I don't know, it goes to me. I'm going to go with Pinhead. I mean, that's a pretty crazy character. The leader of the Cenobites. You guys remember the Cenobites, all from Hellraiser, right?
That was like a cereal, right? The Cenobites.
Cenobites. Humans transformed into demonic creatures. I always found the Hellraiser series kind of interesting. I haven't watched all of them. I know there's a new one that just came out, but are coming up. And
it's out.
Yeah, it's out. the thing, the little box thing, and a total creepy character, Pinhead. And then you had the other two, the one with the chatter teeth,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had the fat guy, whoever the fat guy was.
Yeah.
You remember the name?
I don't remember the name, but I definitely remember the characters.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think of the Hellraiser series and Pinhead? Damo?
Yeah, it's so it was like a little confusing, and I saw most of the new movie, and which is basically it's a remake of the first a reimagining of it or whatever.
Was it a movie or a series?
It's a movie.
Okay.
A movie, but
they made
I don't
Pinhead
know,
a
man.
female. I know that.
Yeah, on this one.
Well, they said originally that when the character was written, it was written as a male with a female voice. That's really? How the original was written. Yeah, it was supposed to be a male with a female voice.
No, I think it's the opposite now. I think her voice was like almost
man,
like a guy. Yeah, but yeah, it was just, maybe I didn't really understand the stories too much.
It was a little confusing. I would have to go back myself.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of like dark, kind of like a gothic feel,
Yeah. Yep. How about you, Ahmed? Anything from Hellraiser, Pinhead?
Not too much. I haven't seen it that much. I know more of Pinhead than I actually do the movie.
Right.
That just wasn't one of those ones that was on HBO a lot back in the day.
Right.
Yeah. Like a lot of these other ones are ones that I've seen on HBO like a million times, and then just ended up becoming my favorites to where, remember when you go to the video store and you rent out, pick movies out.
Yeah.
My favorites are the ones that I pick, but no, not too much on Hellraiser. No.
Mike D, anything on Hellraiser?
I mean, definitely iconic character as far as Pinhead goes, but I mean, I think I've seen him, but I don't think I understood them. I'll put it that way. I think I got to go back and watch them again.
Me too. I think maybe because I watched them so young, I didn't understand as much as I might now if I go back and watch them. But I would like to go back and watch. I know there's a pretty good amount of them too. I would definitely go back and probably watch the original and then maybe watch the reboot and then go back and check out the second, third, or whatever. I know there's a bunch of them. Okay, Damo, what you got?
I guess we should touch on some of the obvious ones that we didn't talk about yet. So I'll start with Jason.
Yeah.
From Friday 13th movies. I mean,
probably the number 2 of all time.
Yeah,
debatable.
Gotta be. I mean, easily. The top 3.
He is
orders, Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers. So
yeah.
He actually didn't make his appearance until later on in the first movie. It was the mother who you could easily put her in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually had her in my list.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even if you look, I looked at some of the backstory today. There's a couple good horror sites, and they said that actually, when Jason had a deformity, supposedly he got picked on by the kids and all that. He got pushed into the pool or the lake or whatever you want to call it. He got pushed in the lake. And of course, the fucking whatever the lifeguards or camp counselors were hanky-pankying around. You know what I mean?
Screwing.
And supposedly he drowned. Now, they say in this backstory that he doesn't drown, that he actually gets out and he hides in the forest and he kind of learns to, grow on his own because he thinks his mother's dead kind of deal. And you don't see the mother to the final scene of, I guess it's part 2. Was it part 2? The final scene was a part 1 where they cut off her head.
Part 1.
No, was it part 2 or maybe was it part 1?
Part 1, and then in part 2 he has her head and he turns it into a shrine.
Yes, that's it. Okay.
So it starts out in part 2 with that shrine of her head.
Right. So she could be on there because she was like a cook or something in the, at the camp or something like that, and she had this kid that she protected pretty much, and they just let him, supposedly drown, but supposedly he survives on his own, which I never heard that till today, to be honest with you. So it's an interesting backstory. But as far as brutal, oh my god, he's brutal. Like, he's just, like I said, probably number 2, I would think. But because not, he's pretty brutal, you know what I mean? But it looks like the whole story is kind of like he's protecting his own space kind of deal. That's what they kind of make it look like in the backstory and stuff. So it's pretty twisted. I'm mad. Anything on Jason?
Yeah, I'd give him number 2. I mean, it felt like a, second Michael Myers, but yeah, I definitely give him number 2. Yeah, I like a lot of those Jason movies, but again, like after a while, it just started to get ridiculous when you had Jason in Manhattan, and
Yeah.
with that last one, I think it was Go to Hell, Jason Goes to Hell,
Yeah, it was
part
bad.
9 or whatever. That ending made me mad because at that time you didn't know that Freddy's hand was going to pull him into the ground. Like they didn't cross pollinate
Yeah.
movies then.
Right.
So when I saw that, I thought that was the corniest thing I had ever seen, and it was done. And then when I thought it couldn't get any worse, they sent him to space. I'm like, what are you guys
I
doing?
like
That
the
was
space
pretty
one.
bad.
I like the space one.
No,
I will not even watch that.
I liked it.
Don't do that.
That
It
was
was like-
almost like
Yeah,
a TNA flick, if I remember.
No,
It was the
Wasn't
Terminator
it?
Jason.
no,
yeah, I'm not even going there.
no. That was just not good.
I got a kick out of the space one. Definitely. But it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Mike D, anything on Jason?
I mean, everything's been said pretty much on Jason.
He's definitely high on the list. So,
Absolutely, 1 or 2 maybe.
so
He's
we
definitely number 2.
and we're gonna go to Ahmed. Let's just pick the king of them all right now, Ahmed. You can do this one.
Michael Myers, you already know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Myers, he's the best. Like,
He started it.
yeah,
Yep.
he's the best for me. And there were just so many similarities that I saw to like real life with that movie, like that seeming like the first real reality like horror movie. I mean, everybody knows what it's like to have a babysitter and go trick-or-treating. And what if that night just went all wrong by this guy who was just completely off? And then, he takes 6 shots and then just dips off like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. He's the creepiest. And for the whole thing with not saying anything and walking really slow, and no matter how slow he walks and how fast you run, he's gonna catch you.
He finds a shortcut.
Yeah, and just there were just those little things that he would do, like that was just disturbing, like when he stabs the kid into the wall and just
almost like emotionless.
like he's looking at it. He was just a man. But for me, it was all about the first 2. Everything after the first, like for me, the series stops after the second one. When he burns up in that fire, that was like it for me.
Right.
So when they made part 3, I can even tell you, even back then, like I felt, well, that's weird. He died. Like, how are you going to do that? And then they did the whole thing with Season of the Witch. That's just what they should have called it. They shouldn't have even, if you wanted to make the anthology thing, just drop the title, because when you add Halloween to it, it makes you, you're prepared to see Michael Myers, even though technically
the studio did something with that one, where it was like that was supposed to be a standalone movie, but they didn't think it was good enough, so they just slapped the Halloween title on it.
But that's what messed it up.
Oh, I can see that. Absolutely. It's like it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, now that this whole thing is coming to a close, I think, because the franchise is going to keep going.
Right.
I don't care what they say; it's just going to keep going.
Sure.
But I think if they do another remake, because they could technically tie, because there's a bunch of loose ends going around. 6 never got a proper ending. For the trash that Resurrection is, he opened his eyes at the end, and that timeline's still going.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to go about with the separate timeline thing and keep it going, you could tie loose ends if you wanted to. But Seasons of the Witch would probably do the best, because you could just call it Season of the Witch and just give it a new whole reboot, because it's starting to become people are starting to like it now.
I love it. I love it.
I liked it
I
back
love
in
it.
the day. Yeah.
I mean, you got the song. The song is fucking great.
Yeah, it sets a tone right there.
It sets the tone. The idea that you put the mask on and you get the blinking, great storyline, man. I mean, it got a little weird with the whole animatronic thing, whatever you want to call it, androids, whatever the hell they were. But as far as the song and everybody putting the Halloween mask on, I mean, really great idea. It's great as a standalone movie. It's a lot of these horror movies are getting like the comic book stuff, where it's different versions, or like Spider-Man, you have Right. Spider-Man, you have, 1, 2, and 3 of the so-and-so series, and then it gets confusing a little bit.
It's just a reason for them to keep on pumping out more.
But sometimes there is cool stuff in there,
But I mean, I take it as them admitting that they fucked up.
Yeah.
Because the sequels of the sequels always suck real bad. It's just like they go too far off and they messed it up. Like with Halloween 4, they definitely could have, like I was saying earlier, they could have went with the Jamie Lloyd, waited a while, and then made that one with her as the killer or whatever. Rob Zombie's I thought was good. I thought that should have been a one and done. He messed it up by making a second one. I thought the second one was complete trash in my opinion.
It was a little off, yeah.
But the first one, as far as his version, I thought it was cool to have that. I mean, it was different from the first. He changed everything I like about it, but I still appreciate his version and think that it was good. But
yeah,
the second one, I just thought it should have been a one and done. Same thing with 2018. What we're getting ready to go into, even though I'm going to see the new one and all that, I felt that 2018 could have been one and done.
Yeah, that's when they show Jamie Lee Curtis's character, where she's like actually, she's becoming like a little crazy. She's got the guns and she's preparing for the end kind of deal. Well, like I said, that's like the next 3 was what was it? Halloween Begins. Was it the first? Was that the? No, I'm thinking.
The first one was just called Halloween, and then the one last year was Halloween Kills,
and then this one's the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so I didn't think the second one was bad, but I want to see if it was just a bridge to the this third one that's coming out this week.
You talking about Kills?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? They to me, they didn't utilize the OG characters, and I get that it was a different writer and he's doing his twist, but I just felt like they had a lot of loose-ended things that they could have worked with Sheriff Brackett. His daughter was killed.
Yeah.
Instead of making up a whole movie with the Hawkins, why don't you find out more with him, with Sheriff Brackett? His daughter died. And next to Loomis, Marion Chambers, the nurse, she worked right side him and swiftly. Other than Loomis, she knew him the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised they didn't do a story yet on the origin of Loomis, where it goes from how he got into it, and then how he maybe end the movie with how he meets Michael Myers, kind of deal.
That's what I thought Rob Zombie was originally going to do. He was going to do the 15 years from when he did his first sister into the night he got out. If it was just like that whole thing,
right?
I thought that would have been cool, because they could have shown the whole thing, like he says within the speech. He could have the 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up. It could have been all that. You could have shown like Michael Myers as a kid, but he wouldn't have really been the focus.
Right.
Been more you get to know Loomis, so by the time you see Halloween 78, a little bit more about him.
Right.
Is that what they're up to now? 78 of them?
Yeah,
basically.
I do like the factor in Rob Zombie's movie where Loomis puts out the book and he's actually because that's something that would happen today probably. He's capitalizing on the incident kind of deal. I kind of dug that part of it,
I don't think that Donald Pleasant's character would have done it like that, though.
No, but what's his name was good. Who helped play Loomis in that? The guy from
Malcolm McDowell.
Caligula, yeah.
Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good, McDowell.
Rob Zombie's version of it, yeah.
Yeah, it works. Damo, what do you got on Michael Myers?
I think I kind of threw my 2 cents in. I mean, he's iconic. I mean, he's the one that kind of started the whole thing,
Mike D, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, what's better than somebody going around in an Inside Out William Shatner mask sprayed white?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because they never really got that mask right after that. It always looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it started out as a simple idea, and then he tried to make it better, and it just was better simple. You know,
what's Shatner's view on that? I'd like to know.
I want my cut, pal. I want my cut.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I
Mike,
think there's a clip of him on YouTube being asked that or something.
really? That's good stuff. Mike D, who you got?
I mean, other than Chucky, where do we go?
That's it.
I got another one. I got another
The
float.
Chuckster.
But Chucky's good. Mike, you can start off with Chucky.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he was. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but from what I remember, he was basically born from this criminal who's being hunted by the cops, and he was a cult practicing member or something like that.
Well, he put his
And,
body. He put his
right,
body.
he
in
did
there,
this
yeah.
little incantation, and he ended up in the Chucky doll.
Right.
Charles Lee Ray.
Charles Lee Ray. I guess what? The backstory on that character is crazy. Like, there was a serial killer or something going around, and he kind of became friends with him, kind of deal, and he was like his mentor, kind of deal. And then he started
on the series.
yeah, and he start getting into some of the voodoo stuff, and when he's getting ready to get arrested or whatever, he puts himself in the body of the Chucky doll, which as crazy as it is, man, that was pretty scary back in the day.
Yeah.
It was pretty scary back in the day.
They were kind of, what was that, modeled after like My Buddies or something?
I think so. Yeah. Which is pretty fun. Which is pretty funny. Mike D, anything else to add to Chucky?
No. I mean, it's pretty iconic and speaks for itself right there. A kid's toy that runs around killing people. Come on.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
That's.
How about you?
But it
Dave?
wasn't like he was a mind, like it was like a real person behind him, so which made it even better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a cool story, like how he became that, and somewhat believable, not, but the story was good, the whole origin story and everything.
Yeah, I haven't seen the series yet. I do want to see the series.
Yeah, it gets more. There's a lot of like scenes of Charles Lee Ray as a kid, how he became that way and shit like that. It's not all origin based, but there's a lot of.
They show flashbacks.
A lot of flashbacks. Yeah.
How about you, anything on Chucky?
Yeah, I like Chucky. I thought that was a cool, clever idea. But I fell off after the first one. I tried to watch the second one and couldn't really.
Yeah, they got a little.
And the Bride of Chucky is just ridiculous. But the coolest thing about Chucky was his lines, man. He was funny. Like
yeah.
I didn't know that his aunt was you ever see Grease?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Marty?
Yeah.
That was his aunt.
Really?
Child's Play, yeah. The one that he threw out the window.
She played the aunt. I gotta look back at that. Yeah. Wow. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That was Marty.
I got one here. And I don't know, he's more of I don't know if he did anything himself, but Jigsaw, John Kramer. Pretty twisted story. The guy finds out
my list.
He
was the mastermind. I mean,
total mastermind. He finds out he's going to die, and then he decides to, say, "Hey, all these people don't appreciate life, to take life for advantage of life. I'm going to, teach them a lesson," kind of deal. And the first one, man, I was surprised at the first one. I think the first one was brilliant. The
Clever.
first Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did any one of you guys think that he was in the room? I didn't think he was in the room.
No, it was a good twist. I thought a lot of those kill scenes were very clever. I mean, I think I've seen a couple more after that. They all kind of run into each other.
They're all good, though. They are all good. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Yeah.
They're all good. But it plays on how, and we all do take life for granted at one time or another, I'm sure. So it really plays on some fucked up
Wasn't there
stuff.
a new one? Wasn't there a newer one called Jigsaw that came out maybe a couple years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Anybody like to add anything else to Jigsaw?
I liked the first one. And the second one was pretty cool. But then after a while, it just started to seem like it was just supposed to be a gross out fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's crazy to think. You're like, yo, I'm really about to chop my leg off and get up out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. Like, what? Oh man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, you have the risk of dying anyway, right? So
yeah, you might not make it there.
Yeah. And wasn't the guy one of the main characters, wasn't he a doctor too? The guy that
Yeah, the
chopped his
guy
leg
from-
off?
Wasn't
From
it
the
Carrie
Squad.
Carrie Elwes? How do you say his name?
The blonde-headed guy, yeah.
Ellis or something like that. Yeah.
But I thought
Yeah,
it was
Princess
really, it was a clever movie.
Yes.
It was definitely a clever movie. Anybody else want to add anything to the list?
No, everything I had on my list was has been mentioned.
Like D?
Yeah. Same here. Everything's mentioned off my list.
Amen.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, guys, there you have it. Mixtapes and tasty cakes. Some of our favorite villains. Villains, if I can say villains. See you next week. Bye.
Violence.
The violence, yeah.